I mean, James, one of the young boys there was holding up a sign saying, "I can't even think straight." That goes beyond just teaching people that people have different families.
Oh, of course it does. I mean, that's the type of sign you might expect to see on a stag or a hen do, not in a primary school classroom. I mean, you know, I fundamentally disagree with Peter. No surprises, though. Peter has previously said that UK schools should teach students about the erotic value of foreplay.
Secondary schools, young people aged 16 and over, not in primary school,
fair enough, Peter,
and not
but
for young kids in secondary school.
The point is that the teaching, the symbolism here is very clearly linked to sex. This school is part of a federation of schools. I posted recently photographs from one of the sister schools in which children are drawing flags representing omnisexuality, asexuality, pansexuality. Those are sex-based terms, and children as young as 5 years old are being exposed to this.
That's very true, isn't it? Pansexuality, that is obviously about sex.
It's about an identity, it's not about sex.
Oh, come on, Peter. Pansexuality, obviously that's about sex.
Okay, so we're back at it again, and this time they're back indoctrinating the kids with their LGBTQ plus agenda. Why they'll never let the kids simply just be kids, I will never understand that. They want to indoctrinate them from a very young age. I've been saying it for the longest time. When I was in school in the 90s, 80s, 70s, we just enjoyed going to school. We enjoyed drinking our milk when it was break time. We enjoyed going outside playing football. We just enjoyed being a kid. We wasn't having propaganda shoved down our throats 24/7, unlike today in the 2024 where everything is woke and they want to indoctrinate the kids and think for the kids so that when the kids grow up, you know what to do. We've already taught you how to think. So just go out and apply like what we've taught you in school since you was a youngster. Which, of course, you know, I'm against. So, yeah, we're going to have a look at a British MP called Rosie Duffield. She's actually part of the woke Labour Party, and she's actually kicking out against this. And she posted a picture, and there's been an uproar because of this. And just very quick, guys, before I play the video, I haven't uploaded these past couple of days because I've had a microphone issue. So it's nothing to do with consistency, it's just a microphone issue. So I've had to sort a few things, move a few things around, use a different camera, and now we can get back to the content. So yeah, but anyway, let's watch this and then we'll analyse as always.
Now, the Labour Member of Parliament, Rosie Duffield, has hit out at a primary school for posting a picture online of one of their students posing with pro-trans and pride flags.
Not just one, about 20, a whole host. About 20 of them, I'd say. The Labour MP argues these children have no meaningful concept of sexuality or gender identity and should essentially be left alone. Well, is she right?
Well, joining us now is the co-founder of Thoughtful Therapists, James Esses, who supports Rosie Duffield's position, and the LGBTI liberation campaigner, Peter Tatchell, who's for children celebrating Pride. Why don't we start with you, James?
Yes.
What's wrong here?
Well, this image, and there's many more on top of this in a variety of schools up and down the country, but this essentially encapsulates the notion of children being, I'm going to say, ideologically indoctrinated, but more than this, being sexualized at school by their teachers. This goes far beyond acceptance, respect, tolerance of same-sex attraction and age-appropriate sex education. This is teachers pushing their own ideologies, nefarious ideologies, on their pupils.
Peter, do you think this is a benefit to these children?
Well, no primary school is teaching pupils about sex. They teach young people about love and respect for others, other people with different races, different faiths, different sexualities. But it's not about sex, it's about respect for LGBT plus people. And in particular, in this teaching, it's about respect for people of different families. So they teach young people that some kids will have a mum and dad, some will be single parents, some may live in extended families with grandparents or cousins or uncles, and some will live with same-sex parents. But there is absolutely no teaching in any primary school about sex.
Oh, come on. You always have to get a woke. I'm not going to keep pausing the video, guys. You're always going to have to get a wokey in there that's going to, you know, come to the aid of the pride flags being in schools. You know, even though, like, first off, what he's saying is absolutely incorrect. Like, when the kids are holding up these rainbows, they're going to go home and they're going to search what the rainbows mean. then they're going to get an in-depth meaning as to what the rainbows mean. You know, these young kids now have phones. You know, they have phones, they're on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, they're on all of these social media platforms, and they're going to search it up. What does that flag mean that I was holding up in school? What is that rainbow? What does it represent? They're going to see images, and then they're going to do the research for themselves and see what's really going on here. So even though they may not be teaching it, they're saying, hey, look at this. Then they're going to go home and they're going to explore what they were taught in school. And then that is going to start. That's where the indoctrination process actually starts, from school. Then they go home, they start looking at more and more pictures, videos, understanding more. As they're growing older, it's in their head. So regardless if they're teaching it in schools or not, you simply exposing them to the rainbow flag is opening a whole world of ideas in their head that they're going to explore.
This we don't know the full details, but I think this particular school was merely attempting to acknowledge that some of the kids in the school will have same-sex parents, and that should be respected, but it's not about sex.
Peter, I mean, James, one of the young boys there was holding up a sign saying, I can't even think straight. That goes beyond just teaching people that people have different families.
Oh, of course it does. I mean, that's the type of sign you might expect to see on a stag or a hen do, not in a primary school classroom. I mean, you know, I fundamentally disagree with Peter. No surprises, though. Peter has previously said that UK schools should teach students about the erotic value of foreplay.
Secondary schools, young people aged 16 and over, not in primary school,
fair enough, Peter,
and not for young kids in secondary school.
The point is that the teaching, the symbolism here is very clearly linked to sex. This school is part of a federation of schools. I posted recently photographs from one of the sister schools in which children are drawing flags representing omnisexuality, asexuality, pansexuality. Those are sex-based terms, and children as young as 5 years old are being exposed to this.
That's very true, isn't it? Pansexuality, that is obviously about sex.
It's about an identity, it's not about
Oh, come on, Peter.
No,
Pansexuality,
no.
obviously that's about sex.
It's about saying some people may fall in love with someone of the same gender or a different gender. That's all it's about. It's not about sex.
Peter, I refuse to believe that you actually genuinely think that young children this age should be, you know, being handed signs saying I can't even think straight, having the progress flag and learning all about gender identity and whatnot. Is it not a bit much? They are very young.
I agree that some of these slogans may have been inappropriate. It all depends on whether the children understood the issues. But we have to remember that young kids today are becoming aware of their sexuality or gender identity at a very young, some are becoming aware at a very young age, and those kids need support.
They don't need support. What? I'm sorry guys to keep pausing there, but they don't need support. They're not even thinking about that. When I was in nursery, reception, primary school, etc., I wasn't even thinking along those lines. I was thinking about when break, you know, when I'm going for break next, you know, what goal I'm going to score, what free kick I'm going to take on the playground, because I used to think I was a footballer back in school. So, you know, I'll take some shots. I'll be lining that up. I was not thinking in any way, shape or form about these kinds of topics. You know, this wasn't even grazing my mind, and even people that was around me, you know, it wasn't even grazing, you know, our minds. We just wanted to live. Just let the kids live, like, regardless of what they think they are, just let them live. When they're 18, they'll make that conscious decision for themselves, and they will think for themselves as well. You don't need to do the thinking for them. Let them think for themselves when the time is right, you know. So yeah.
And those who have same-sex parents or a trans parent, they need support too, to not feel left out, not feel excluded, not feel marginalised. It's about kindness to pupils in our schools who come from different families and different parents.
James, just because the word sexuality has the word sex within it, that could well mean male, female, rather than intercourse.
Well, as we've just said, terms like pansexuality, omnisexuality relate to the type of person you are sexually attracted to. I'm more concerned by the imposition of gender ideology, this notion suggesting to these impressionable young children that they may have been born in the wrong body. That's what I'm concerned about. And I've spoken to parents from this school who've reached out and said they are extremely concerned by what's going on. They were never informed about this. They were never even asked for their consent for their children children to be used in this photograph that was posed online. I mean, the whole thing is a disgrace.
So I agree parents should be informed and engaged. There should be a cooperation between teachers, parents and pupils. But I've got to emphasise, a lot of young lesbian, gay, bisexual and trans kids grow up feeling very alienated, very fearful of who they are.
But at this age...
They need reassurance. They need reassurance.
But why wouldn't you just let the parents know, the parents or the guardians? Like, remember when... I remember when I was in school, and this is the last time I want to pause it, by the way, guys. Sorry about that. I remember when I was in school and we had to take a slip home for our parents to sign. So they'll sign a slip to say that we're allowed to go on the trip. You know, permission is key. You know, the parents and the guardians need to know. And this lets me know that they understand what they're doing is unethical. The fact that they are not alerting the guardians or the parents and they're just teaching the kids or just shoving it down the kids' throats. It lets me know that they understand that there's a problem there and they are proceeding with it, understanding that there could be backlash, but they don't care because that's how keen they are to get this ideology down to the youth, unfortunately. So yeah, but anyway, let's finish off the video.
At a young age, you're not thinking about who you're sexually attracted to,
No, of
Anne
course
and I. So I can't see what purpose it serves.
Well, I look back at my own childhood, and at the age of 8, I knew that I liked men. I didn't see it as sex at all. I just thought I would like to be with a man. Lots of young kids have those feelings
But
today.
is this encouraging children to think about whether they're born in the wrong body or whether they'd be happier as a boy and a girl at such a young age?
No one should be encouraged. No one should be encouraged, but they should be supported if
But it's
that's
sort
the
of
way
making
they
it
feel.
cool, isn't it? No?
No, it's about giving reassurance to kids who are often very anxious about their sexuality or gender identity. And we know lots of young kids go through a great deal of personal trauma, and some even feel like taking their own lives. We've got to stop that. And it's not about encouraging or promoting, it's about being supportive.
Last word to you, James?
I mean, where to begin? PISA's politicising and weaponising the idea of suicide. This has been debunked. The fact of the matter is these are young children, prepubescent children. We should not be teaching them sex in this way. We should not be suggesting to them that they may have been born in the wrong body and then encouraging them or affirming them down a pathway of irreversible transition. This is completely unprofessional, inappropriate. The government has released guidance saying that schools should not be doing this, and the government needs to do something to clamp down on this before it's too late and more children become harmed off the back of this radical ideology.
Yeah, no children should be harmed. I agree with that.
Well, there we go. A point of consensus, although much disagreement as well. We'll have to leave it there. James SS, Peter Tatchell, thank you so much, sir.
That pro-LGBTQ plus campaigner, Peter Tatchell, really had me worried. You know, he looked like, yeah, you know, the kids should really be learning about it. At a few points, you know, he was a little bit politically correct, you know, just to come across sincere, but I could see from his face that, you know, he was even bringing himself into the equation as an example, saying that at the age of 8, he knew. Well, that's good for you, Peter Tatchell. It's good that you knew. It's fine. But other kids don't need to know. You know, other kids, they don't need to know that part of life just yet. You know, they need to understand what they like, what they don't like, you know, where their strengths, their weaknesses are. You know, getting ready to, you know, do their GCSEs when they're 16, you know, maths, English, science. This is what they need to understand. This is what they need to learn, you know. They don't need to be learning about this kind of education, you know, at such a young age. This isn't even education. This is just indoctrination. You know, they don't even need to be learning about that. You know, when they get to a point where they're going to finish secondary school and then they learn about sex ed, like we all had that sex ed class. Okay, cool, they're growing up now. They're about to go into college. I understand that. But at this age, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can say, Peter Tatchell, that's going to make me even hear your point of view. You know, that was, you know, very disturbing. So yeah. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below on your thoughts of this. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.